I woke up yesterday to one of my friends who's a indie game developer and he's from Brazil. And he was very upset over the fact that he can't use Twitter anymore. And the reason for it is that since he has an indie game, he worked really hard in order to farm a community on Twitter that will then promote his game. And unfortunately, that's not possible anymore because the politicians in Brazil have to be protected. Like they're very important people, and they cannot be allowed to lose elections. You need to protect their democracy by using non-democratic means, by cracking down on the people's ability to communicate, which is very interesting. Like you need to use fascist tendencies to protect democracy. I think like protecting democracy means freezing the status quo. Like we have reached the level of democracy where it's perfection. Like the correct people have been elected. We have reached perfection. They have the best ideas. They already have a plan for the future of the country, probably for the next 1,000 years, right? The 1,000-year Reich, if you will. And you cannot allow any interference with the plan. Like they cannot ever lose elections to populists. Like populists are evil by default, right? Like they represent the popular will of the people. Like you cannot have that. So obviously, sacrifices need to be made. In other cases, businesses and other people like my friend, they should not be allowed to advertise. They should not be allowed to get in touch with other people. And that was just Twitter, but it doesn't mean it can't expand. It doesn't mean that tomorrow it can't be YouTube or it can't be TikTok or Rumble. As we got to see on Reddit, there are already people that are cheering this decision to ban Twitter, and they want more. Like they want other platforms to subject themselves to Brazilian demands. And here's an example with Actman, which has a very interesting take. Farewell to the people of Brazil. We will miss you. Elon has nosedived this site into the fucking gutter. So this is a person using Elon's site, not being banned from Elon's side. Like his business is not going to be affected because as a content creator, you do need Twitter in order to stay up to date with the recent news and also to talk with your subscribers. He's fine, right? But Elon is to blame. It's kind of like blaming the journalists for the Nazis shutting them down. That make any sense? And not to mention, how is Elon responsible for Brazilian people being fined up to $8,000 for using a VPN? Is that also Elon's fault? I found that very interesting. Again, I was talking with my friend and I was asking him, well, hold on a little bit. Why don't you use a VPN, right? Because like this was the take of a lot of people on the internet. It's like, well, the government is incompetent. Like the government just doesn't know what it's doing. You can't just ban a website. I mean, obviously people are going to use VPNs, and the answer is yes, you can, and you can get an $8,000 fine then. Are you going to risk it? I mean, chances are you may get away. If you're a small content creator, if you're not making a big footprint, like maybe. But can you sleep at night knowing that if the government catches you, it's $8,000 per day and you've been using it for a month? Right? Like, is that something? And my God, the position of the government, absolutely adorable. Like, imagine that you have 10 people that are using your house. You're renting it to 10 people. You got a big house like a Sandpiper. But you also say that now you need to provide safety for the people in that house. And every single time someone says something you don't like, $8,000 fine. Isn't that a nice position to be in? Like, you're generating wealth. I used to say that governments can't generate wealth. I was sorry. I was wrong. Yeah, they can have laws like this, where if you flap your mouth and make certain vocal cords, or if you do the clickety-clack on the keyboard, $8,000 fine. Perfect. Jesus. Now, the harmful and dangerous misinformation that leftists are espousing is that Twitter had to be shut down because of misinformation. So for some reason, human beings do not have the right to be misinformed anymore. Like, if I, as an adult, want to be misinformed, like, this is what I demand. I want to be misinformed. I demand someone misinforms me. Apparently, I don't have that right anymore. The only people that do have the right now to use Twitter, and this is what I told my fellow developer, like, look, if you want to use Twitter and you can't use a VPN, there is a legal way to do it. You just gotta get into your leftist party and reach the top, because it seems that politicians from the left in Brazil are still tweeting. So, like, this is what you gotta do. You just gotta go to the top And you need to become a decent leftist, aka you reach the mythical status of decent human being, and then you can tweet as well. But was it misinformation though? Was it really misinformation that got Twitter banned? Well, no. Apparently, Elon Musk has said that he was asked to do something which is against the Brazilian law. Because, like, if you look at Elon Musk's behavior, he has complied with other nation states' requests, even when they went against free speech. And he would say, well, yeah, but we had to do it because that's their law, and we still want to have Twitter in their country, so I had to consider whether or not it's worth doing, right? So, like, he has complied when other countries asked him to do stuff. However, in the case of Brazil, he didn't, and he justifies that what he was asked to do went against the Brazilian law. And it's funny because a lot of Twitter users and leftists go, well, where did that happen? Where did that? What is that? I mean, literally, this is something that you would show to a 5-year-old to understand. Like, if you're watching this and your brain cannot comprehend, then I don't want to have a conversation with you because you do not understand reality. Like, to me, it's baffling that you understand, like, all of these complex issues, like gender studies and other academic concepts, but you can't seem to grasp this. So look at this. Again, this is what Elon Musk is claiming, right? So, like, if he is wrong, he can be sued on this. But, like, no one is doubting what he is saying is true. Like, no one is saying, no, actually, we never asked for this. Elon is lying. He's saying that the order from Alexandre de Moraes came. X must block within 2 hours and in secret the following accounts, including that of a sitting Brazilian senator in their entirety, without any reference to a single illegal post from any of the accounts. So you guys know how social media sometimes just bans someone without mentioning what they did? Like, they never say, this is the post that has you in violation. They will just shut down your channel and say, this channel has been shut down for violation of TOS. Do you know that? Like, this is probably why it's happening. Like, you may have government entities, in this case it's Brazil, but I wouldn't be surprised if similar requests comes from UK or Germany or other places, where they basically say, yeah, like, these are the people we need you to ban, and do not tell any reason, do not show any posts, just ban them. And I do think that Meta would comply. If it was Facebook, it would be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, we're banning them. Meanwhile, according to the federal constitution of Brazil, all persons are equal before the law without any distinction whatsoever. Brazilian and foreigners residing in the country being ensured of inviolability of the right to life, liberty, equality, the security and property of the following terms. The expression of thought is free, and anonymity is forbidden. The expression of intellectual, artistic, scientific, and communication activity is free, independently of censorship or license. Any and all censorship of a political, ideological, and artistic nature is forbidden. Paragraph 1 of Article 19, the court order concerning illegal content shall contain, on pain of voidability, right? So, like, the Constitution says that if you do this, it's null, you don't have to follow it, a clear and specific identification of the purportedly infringing content. So in other words, this request, without any reference to a single illegal post from any of the accounts, is in violation of the law. Now, of course, maybe Elon Musk is lying. Maybe this wasn't true. Maybe this wasn't requested. But I haven't seen Brazil denying it. I haven't seen any official from Brazil saying, no, actually, we would never request something like this. So what's interesting with this Alexandre de Moraes, because I was looking at it and I was like, well, hold on a little bit. Why does he have so much power? Like, isn't this something that politicians should do? Like, shouldn't politicians draft a bill which would ban X? Like in America, for instance, with the TikTok ban. Like, you had politicians actually doing, like, why is the judge doing it? And it turns out that he's not just like a random judge. He has so much power that Elon Musk is now calling him a dictator. And it's not really far from the truth, because he has legislative powers, he has judicial powers, he does hold a lot of power in his hand, like the VPN thing. A lot of Brazilians are saying that it's a law that came overnight, and I tend to believe it because I have seen Brazilians using VPNs up until now, which shows that it wasn't illegal. And a lot of people use VPNs not for anonymity, but for protection. Like, it protects you against certain types of malware and against certain types of scams. So people have used it, but yeah, if you're in Brazil and you're using it, make sure to disable it, because $8,000, right? Jeez. Yeah, so a lot of leftists are omitting this from the conversation. Like, this just doesn't register. They're like creationists, you know? Like creationists who thought that the earth is 6,000 years old, and you would bring argument, and they would just dismiss them. They would just ignore it. They would pretend that they've never heard the conversation. Ever. I find this to be absolutely fascinating. So yeah, this is why I agree with Elon Musk. Because on one hand, you know, they're countering their rules. I get that. You know, like if you're having a nation that's more fascistic oriented, and you want to build a 1,000-year-old empire, like you got your own laws, you got your own rules. But the problem is, like, when your own laws are violating the constitution in your country, but more importantly, is this thing where you want to do it in secret, right? So like Elon Musk now should have taken the blame for banning people in another country, so that it doesn't look like, well, actually the judge wants them to be banned. No, it's Elon Musk banning them for violating Twitter's TOS. It's like, why should he take this responsibility? Why should he take this burden? Like, if you want to ban and censor, fine, but you need to take responsibility for the banning and censoring. Which is also interesting. Why do these governments not want to stand behind their censorship? Why do they have to constantly launder it? This is what I don't understand. Just own up to it. Fucking own up to it. The Brits owned up to it. I mean, when they wanted the X to ban, I think it was Tommy Robinson, right? There were members from Labour, and they signed their name on the petition, and they were like, here, we want him banned. Boom. Why can't Brazil do that? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.